Hello and welcome to this episode of Bitcoin Simplified. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to try and answer your questions. What is Bitcoin? How can I use it? And can I trust it? Is it real? Okay, so I'm at my computer right now and there is a very popular video that is circulating on YouTube which explains Bitcoin very well, but I want to go through it in more detail, so I'm going to be playing it here and I'm going to pause and explain every time there's something that I feel I need to elaborate. So hopefully that will give you a good grasp on the concept of Bitcoin, and then I'm going to talk about how to use it and why I think that it's real enough for me.
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. Bitcoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. Compared to other alternatives, Bitcoins have a number of advantages.
Okay, so let's stop here. The first digital decentralized currency. That means that it is not being controlled by any single company or bank or government. This is why it's decentralized. There is no central control over it. Bitcoin is controlled by its code because Bitcoin is based on computer code. So this is what controls it. This is what not really controls it, but this is the basis of it. This, it follows certain algorithmic codes. So there is a structure to Bitcoin. There is a way that you can mine it, you can create it. There is a way that you can spend it. There is a lot of coded information in the way Bitcoin operates, so that everything can be following a structure rather than just becoming something that anyone can manipulate and copy. And it's pretty much the first cryptocurrency that managed to solve the problem of double spending. Before Bitcoin, there have already been other attempts of creating a digital currency. The problem was always that with digital, with code, it was able to be double spent. You were able to send that number of codes to somebody, and then you were able to immediately send the same code to someone else and basically double spent for the same transaction. That's something that's been resolved with the code of Bitcoin, and this is why Bitcoin became the first digital currency that actually worked. Let's continue with the video.
Bitcoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net, without going through a bank or clearinghouse. This means that the fees are much lower. You can use them in every country. Your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits.
Now, your account cannot be frozen. I just want to comment on this one here. If your account is with a centralized company like Coinbase, for instance, Coinbase is a company. It's also regulated, and they have to abide by international laws. So they operate in some countries. They don't have licenses. They don't operate in some states. Even in New York, for instance, they cannot operate. There are rules that they abide by, and Coinbase as a company, because it's responsive to the governments in the countries where it operates, it can actually freeze your account. So if there is some fraudulent activity or suspicion of fraudulent activity or money laundering or something like that, they can actually freeze your account and your funds. The good side about Bitcoin is the fact that you don't have to necessarily be with a centralized company. You can store it in your own cold storage wallet, which I have another video about this. It's called Ledger. There are a few of these, and this is basically your own bank. So you can store your Bitcoin here, and you're not depending on a third-party service apart from this party, but you're not depending on a cloud storage company-run service to allow you to spend or withdraw your Bitcoin. So this is the difference. There is a way to be completely independent when you're using Bitcoin, and this is why people really like it. This is why it's becoming such a big hit on the internet. It's the internet money.
Let's look at how it works. Several currency exchanges exist where you can buy and sell Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and more. Your Bitcoins are kept in your digital wallet on your computer or mobile device. Sending Bitcoins is as simple as sending an email, and you can purchase anything with Bitcoin.
And this is very true. This is the part where we talk about, is it real? Because I've been using Bitcoin for well over a year right now, and I'm right now I'm living on Bitcoin. I'm living a Bitcoin lifestyle. I moved to Spain, and I'm earning online. I'm making my money online. So Bitcoin is my preferred currency, mainly because it's much easier for me to make money when my money is in a currency that is constantly increasing in value. The value of Bitcoin has increased a lot in the last couple of years. I remember a year ago, exactly this time last year, it was early May, maybe late April, early May, when I was buying Bitcoin for about $450, $460. Well, today Bitcoin is 1,800. It's an all-time high. It might go down a little bit. Nevertheless, the increase is more than 4 times. So that is quite remarkable, and just simply by having my money in Bitcoin, I have increased my own personal capital by 400%. Well, not all of my money was in Bitcoin, so my total capital is not increased that much, but in any case, it really helped the fact that I'm keeping my money in Bitcoin, at least for the short term, at least for the moment. Bitcoin is quite a profitable investment if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not really giving financial advice.
The Bitcoin network is secured by individuals called miners. Miners are rewarded newly generated Bitcoins for verifying transactions. After transactions are verified, they are recorded in a transparent public ledger.
Okay, I'm going to stop this here because I need to explain a little bit about the mining and how exactly it's being done. The mining process involves computers, and these computers are solving mathematical problems. So there are mathematical problems that are coded in the system, in the program, in the software of Bitcoin. So whenever computers, or nodes, they're also called, find a solution to a mathematical problem, a new block is being created. And we're going to talk about the blockchain in a second. But the blockchain is basically a link, a chain of blocks that supports Bitcoin's infrastructure and that creates the whole Bitcoin core. The blockchain is what drives, what fuels Bitcoin. And that blockchain is just a multitude of blocks. Each block, when it's mined, when it's created, there is a reward. And that reward is being paid in Bitcoin. This is how most of the cryptocurrencies operate, basically. They basically have a blockchain, and that blockchain creates and supports applications, innovations, different businesses, whatever it is that you're creating on that blockchain. The people who are developing the programs for that blockchain need to be paid. So you're creating a cryptocurrency around this blockchain so that you can support your developers and the people who are supporting the network. So this is why Bitcoin is being awarded, and we call it mining. But in fact, with every block, you're receiving currently 12.5 Bitcoin. Now, this is an interesting part here. You have something called halving. So every 4 years, you have that reward that is being given at the end of each block being halved. And this is something that is in place in order to protect the currency from deflation. So this is how you're guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but this is how you have some sort of a guarantee that the price of Bitcoin will not really go too far low. Even if there is some deflation, it cannot really crash because of the fact that less and less Bitcoins will be mined. Also, there is a cap, a total cap on Bitcoin. You can only mine 21 million. So the total Bitcoins in circulation ever will be 21 million, but that will be in 2140 because of that halving, because of the way that Bitcoin is being mined every 4 years. It becomes less and less, so less and less that you mine per block. So a rough estimate brings us to the year 2140, and the halving is not exactly every 4 years, but it's exactly every 210,000 blocks. And because each block right now is being mined at around 10 minutes intervals, this is how we come to the figure of roughly around 4 years. The last halving was last year in June, or was it July 2016, and next halving will be in 2020. So this is what we can look forward to. This is how we know that the price will definitely be going up by 2020 we're going to be looking at a very different price of Bitcoin than it is today.
Bitcoin opens up a whole new platform for innovation. The software is completely open source and anyone can review the code. Bitcoin is changing finance the same way the web changed publishing. When everyone has access to a global market, great ideas flourish. Bitcoins are a great way for businesses to minimize transaction fees.
Okay, so now we can talk about the blockchain a little bit, and this is pretty much all the information that you need in terms of simple kind of basic stuff about Bitcoin. Blockchain is a platform for innovation because it's very similar to what the internet is. It's linked computers that are transferring data and are following and working with the same software, so they're following, you know, the rules of that software, the code of that system. So they all exchange information and they all record information. On each block of the blockchain you have around 2048 transactions recorded and some other data. Currently each block is the size of 1 megabyte, but we are looking at probably increasing that very soon. So we'll see probably by the end of the year that will increase, and if that happens we'll have slightly cheaper fees. Now the fees, even though they started really small, at the moment we are looking at an average fee of around $1, maybe $1.30 per transaction. And the fees used to be, you know, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, and now it's over $1. Sometimes you can even pay up to $6 if you want your transaction to be fast. But in any case, it's still cheaper than most bank transfers and other transactions, especially transactions abroad. You know, international transactions usually will cost you a minimum of $25 and more. So this is why many people were looking into Bitcoin as a means of transferring money in a cheaper way. And now many people are looking at Bitcoin as an investment because of the price. Because, as I said, the price has more than quadrupled in the last year alone. The year before that, it went by 100% up. So for the last 5 years, it's been consistently outperforming all the other currencies. So even though it's digital money and many people don't really think it's tangible and it's not real, it's actually having a much better performance than the real currencies. And this is another very strong reason why I think you should look more into Bitcoin and you should do some more research. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, you know, articles online, a lot of information out there, and a lot of really big investors are now looking into Bitcoin, especially with the recent price hikes, because the price went up from 1,200 just over a month ago to 1,600 a week ago to 1,700 today, and close to 1,800. I think a few hours ago it was 1,800, but I think it's only testing that price and it's gonna go down, so maybe we're gonna have a few more days before it goes into the 18 and 1900s. So this is my short preview of Bitcoin. I hope this is explaining things, and I hope it's not too complicated, even though I know that it's not very easy. It's also not very easy for me to explain it. It took me about 3 or 4 different attempts. I think this is my 4th video now where I'm trying to explain Bitcoin, and this is why I actually wanted to use that video, because it really explains it well, and there's very little that I needed to add to the video. The last thing I want to finish with, no story is a great story without a little bit of mystery. And there is a lot of mystery in Bitcoin because to this day we still do not know who created it. It's someone going by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, but we don't know who that person is. We don't know if that was a real name or just a nickname, some type of a pseudonym. Nobody knows who exactly stands behind that name, who created Bitcoin. Nevertheless, it is a gift to the world. We are all using it, and as I said, I've been living on Bitcoin. I'm using it. I'm paying in shops. I'm taking it out of the ATM. I have a Bitcoin debit card. I'm gonna do another video, by the way, where I'm gonna be talking about debit cards about Bitcoin. So if you need more information about that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and you follow my videos. This is coming next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this is helping. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up and please share it with other people.